You are now listening to Mondays with Mike Martinez.
Hey guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of Mondays with Mike. I have my new friend Rory here, all the way from Seattle. I'm going to let you introduce yourself, Rory.
Well, I'm Rory Knight with the Seattle Roofing Company, and I'm from Seattle.
Dude, so thank you first and foremost for flying all the way out here from Seattle to California. Huge honor to have you here. We were chopping it up right now before we started recording, and man, you're a sophisticated businessman. You've got a couple of businesses that you've scaled a little bit and sold off. We'll talk about that just a little bit. But I want to thank you for coming all the way out here. So let's start off. Where are you originally from? Where'd you grow up? How was life growing up?
Well, I grew up in Yakima, which is in the middle of the state. It's an agricultural farm community. It's back then it was like 51% Mexican. You know, somebody say Hispanic, but a lot of Mexicans don't like the word like Hispanic because of Spain. And
yeah, we don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, but so I grew up in a Mexican neighborhood, and picking fruit. You know, we were broke. Like we didn't have anything.
What was the 51% Mexican? What was the other 49%?
Others. So you know, like
all the above.
You know, like when you're in prison, they're like they got the others. Anything else?
So wait, those are not Mexican tattoos, are they?
No, no, they were. Some of them. I guess I still have some on my back, like a smile now, but I didn't get the cry later from a Mexican. Modesto was his name. Yeah, so I grew up. You know, like one of the first places I had when I moved out at 14. I rented a basement from my buddy Pedro Cordinez, and. You know, I was landscaping and doing other things, you know, to survive. And then I started getting in trouble. I got locked up at 14. I got an assault charge, you know. And, you know, and so Yakima's like a rough place. Okay. You know, it's actually heavily influences from the L.A., you know, so they have a lot of presence there. People come up from L.A., and it's kind of like,
it's an extension of L.A.
Yeah, and it kind of like moves out from there, right? And so, and like I always had big dreams, and I always wanted to move to the city, and I always lived in this fantasy world, right? Like psycho-cybernetics, right? Like I always see myself somewhere else, and then it served me most of the time, but then sometimes, you know, so I moved to Seattle when I was 16, and I'd been on my own already 2 years at that point, and I moved to Burien, which is like another bad area, and then just came up hard there, and then finally straightened out at 21.
How old are you now?
I'm 42.
Okay, so you've been having a good head on your shoulders for about 21 years now?
Hope so.
So dude, look, I've had a few people in roofing join us. Roofing is a sexy topic, and I'm personally beginning to have a passion for it. So let me ask you this. How did you get into roofing?
I got into roofing I think a lot of roofers had to. It was like either a necessity or you were already a contractor and you stumbled on to roofing as a GC. Like Dimitri always says, like a contractor will always take a roof job, but a roofer won't take a flooring job. So think of it that way, right? You want to say, well, roofing is not all what it's cracked up to be.
I like that.
And
I like that a lot.
And that's how it started, was like I'm doing remodels, but they need a roof. And I'm like, well, we know a roofer. We looked at other bids. So we understood the market. And then we're like, well, this guy sells for this. And boom, my margin is this, and it's done in one day. So it was like the passivity, the margins, everything was, and it was like, oh man, I just want to do that. You know, that's like the chocolate chip cookie. You know, you got 3 cookies in the shelf. You got oatmeal raisin, you know, you got peanut butter. But if you got chocolate chip cookie, like the chocolate chips, those are the best. Like all I want is chocolate chips, right? So that's what it is. But how do you control margin and get it? That's where sales and marketing come in, you know. And so that was 2012.
So if I'm understanding you,
roofing.
You were a contractor. How long were you doing that for?
Contractor. I had my first contracting company, 2007, my early 20s. Bought a house, and I was in my 20s. Lost it in 2008. And then went to work for the union for a couple of years, and then became a contractor again in 2010. I've been a contractor for 20 years.
Okay, so that's the point that I'm making. So you were you've been a contractor for 20 years, and then all of a sudden you find out like, oh shit, roofing's where it's at. The margins are there. You can do it in a day. So you didn't happen to know that all the big private equity companies have it out for roofing companies, and they want to acquire them for them. They're willing to pay a lot of money for them. You didn't know that?
In 2013, we didn't even see it in HVAC or whatever. I mean, they've swept a lot of industries, and roofing's now whatever. But
Home
it wasn't.
services.
There was a lot I didn't know back then.
So you knew now though.
Do I?
Dude, the private equity companies are coming after home services, roofing, HVAC, electrical, like anything that's specialized, like we were talking about offline right now. So let's talk a little bit about your background though, because how long have you had the roofing company?
This roofing company is a DBA of a GC company, was only 2 years old. So between April and May, we launched the Seattle Roofing Company.
You still have,
DBA.
I know we talked a little bit about it, but you still have your construction company rolling. So would this be considered year 3 or year 2?
Would be year 3, I guess, of that
entity. Entity of the whole. So last year, did you separate your revenue between the construction and the roofing?
No.
So it was all together.
Yeah, it was all together.
So what was your revenue last year altogether?
2.1.
2.1.
Just over 2 million.
But that's your second year in business for your construction company. And would you say that most of that came from roofing?
Yes.
80%?
Yeah, 65, 70%.
70% of it.
Yeah, the revenue came from roofing.
Okay. And then we talked a little bit about your profit margin. What was your profit margin last year?
My net, my EBITDA net was a little over 10%.
10%. Okay. So would you say that the roofing net helped your business dramatically, even with that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It did.
Because it has higher profit margins, right?
It does have higher profit margins and scalability. Although what I was doing prior to that was something I specialized in, and I had a lot of profit. So going into roofing, there's a development, there's a pioneer stage.
A learning curve.
There's a learning curve, yeah, but I've already been through the learning curves with this, so I know it's just heavy investment, and getting that momentum, the law of the big mo, like John C. Maxwell talks about, getting that flywheel.
That's right.
Spinning. Jim Collins talks about getting that flywheel spinning.
Damn, you know all the greats, bro.
I'm an addict when it comes to these books.
Self-development.
I'm an addict in general.
All right. So let's pause really quick because it's important people understand this. Okay? From the time that he got to my office today and the time that we sat down in my office and we started talking, I immediately liked this guy because I knew that you were very self-developed. I could tell by you keep quoting all the greats. So I know that you've read all the great books. And I can tell you that that's why we're successful, because we've done a lot of self-development. We know shit that other people don't because we've learned from some of the greatest. John Maxwell, Jim Collins, like all these guys do, Grant Cardone, of course, Brandon Dawson, all the greats, Tim Grover. Have you studied Tim Grover?
I've seen Tim Grover live.
Yeah, I've seen him.
That's when I started. The Seattle Roof Club was born. Relentless.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Now that book right there, The Dark Side That Refuses to Be Good.
Yes.
Nobody's ever talked about that.
Have you read Winning?
No.
Winning is his second book.
I
It talks about a spirit. It's a spirit. Winning is a spirit.
I'm gonna because you said it, I'm gonna
Oh,
when
dude.
I leave here,
Winning is a great book. So Winning, Tim Grover's book talks about how winning is like a spirit. So as soon as you become unfaithful to the spirit of winning, it will leave you. Ooh. So what does unfaithful mean? It means that you are not staying focused. You're getting complacent. You're getting lazy. Winning will abandon you overnight, like a fucking $2 whore. It'll just leave you.
Damn.
So, all right, bro. We'll get back on track. I just wanted to pause real quick to understand, so everybody understands the importance of self-development. That's really how you become like an A player. So, previous to that, in your construction company, what kind of jobs were you doing? What did you specialize in?
So I was in wholesaling. Got into wholesaling after closing a bigger general exterior company that scaled up to $5 million, and then
you sold that.
Yeah, split it up into pieces and sold it, and then consulted. I actually made my roofing foreman, my best guy, Vietnamese guy. I gave him his own company and sold him his trucks, and I consulted for him and built it out. So I sold it. I pieced it out and sold it, and then I went through stuff personally. I was getting a divorce at that time, so it was that successful with the knowledge that I had. If I knew then what I knew now, I would have had a total different exit.
What do you think about the wholesaling?
I like wholesaling. The only thing I don't like about wholesaling, I don't know how to say this nicely, is like you get a bunch of realtors too. You won't find the I don't want to say ethics, right? But I want to like the depth of character. Wholesalers are wholesalers. I was really good at it. But I worked it like a job. Like, to me, it was like any other company, and I had a quota. Like, I signed 2 deals a week, and I signed them correctly because I was a contractor. I knew the fix-up cost. I know the holding cost. I was an investor, so I had bought deals. That's what got me into wholesaling. After my divorce, I was consulting and had the mobility that when an opportunity popped up, I went and worked for Home Vestas to learn acquisitions. We buy ugly houses, so just to learn it, and just immediately began to dominate from there, went to another outfit, and then I ended up opening my own, buying foreclosures, and it was just super niche. And then when COVID hit, I lost that. Me and a partner. It was just me and a partner, and I was literally just making money. I wasn't going to scale it. I don't know how.
That's the problem. That's the problem with wholesaling, dude. And I guess I'm not supposed to talk about it because I'm known in the community, in the wholesaling community. I guess I'm known. Dataskip.io is like the #1 skip tracing company for wholesalers. So I'm not supposed to say this, but I got to be brutally honest because I am who I am. I'm fucking Mike Martinez. I got to say it. Wholesaling is not scalable. That's why I got out. So I'm not completely out. My wife runs our wholesale operation. We did about 770,000 last year. We did about 25%. I don't know her exact numbers because she took over. But that's not sexy to me. Like, that's not sexy to me at all. Previous year, we did $1 million. Previous year to that, we did $1 million. Our net was much higher the previous years. So I don't like to be at the mercy of the market and like what people are feeling. Like, I feel like you have no control, and then to scale, you got to do a lot, dude. It's too exhausting to scale that business.
Yeah.
I want to say 3 of the biggest wholesalers in the country that I know for sure are the biggest, like for sure verified. I know they are because they're my friends and I know everybody. Sean Terry, Nick Perry, Eric Klein. Shout out to these guys. Those are the real motherfuckers in the game. Everybody else can't say the same. So wholesaling's cool, but not that scalable. So let's move on to the next topic at hand. We know your numbers. What have been the biggest challenges when you started your construction company and even getting into the roofing space? Like, what are some of the biggest challenges that you faced and the people would face getting into that?
Which company?
Both the construction company and the roofing company.
Biggest challenges? This time around, what was the biggest challenges? For the roofing company, biggest challenges was the systems. I thought because I had set up systems before. Marketing was different. 2019 is when I closed that exterior company. It was different. I mean, now you have to be a marketer. You have to be your own influencer. Your own. If you use ad, I mean, it's like you got to be good. It's different. It's totally different. It's a moving target. So that's #1 challenge is like understanding what business you're in. You're in the. It depends on how you understand it. I'm in the marketing business. We run a marketing company, and we're sales. Like, we're really good at sales. But sales, if you're good at sales, you'll make millions. If you're good at marketing, you'll make hundreds of millions. Good marketing covers a multitude of sins, including bad sales and bad products. Think of like who's got the worst hamburgers out there? McDonald's, right? Nobody's selling you pushing McDonald's, but it's got the best marketing in the world, right? And so that's the business you're in. And then everything is marketing. People are like, well, my quality and this and that speaks for itself. You should be factory trained, certified, follow best practices, all code, UBI, all everything. Your quality needs to be, everybody should be on par, right? If you're offering factory warranties, right? So that's not it. How do you market that? Spin back around. It's marketing. Marketing and sales is
Those are the biggest challenges?
not for me. It was for me and my ex-wife with our other company. That was the biggest challenge, was like driving with the brakes on. You know, how you gonna tell someone that you didn't have to before, because I was always making it happen before, but now we got to drop 10 G's this month in marketing, and
So somebody like you that really knows and understands marketing and sales,
yeah.
then what would be your biggest challenge?
Oh, this year for this company was the systems, big time.
Like the CRMs, the processes.
The CRM, the AI, which it was a challenge, but when it clicked, it was mind-boggling how well it operated. But then changing and evolving the systems, and then adapting, because here's the thing about it, is like one thing changes everything in your system. It's like the butterfly effect. I've never even seen that movie, but like it just ripples through your whole business, and everything changes everything. Anything changes everything. And then so you have to be so scientific about the whole process. So like I thought I would be a lot farther along, because I had been farther along. So you like almost pick up where you left off, because I had other businesses before, had to close and bought a company, rebranded, and I literally had left off the revenue from a company that I had closed and opened another one. It was almost like I didn't miss a beat before. And then I'm actually happy with the results I got last year, because we literally had got not too many leads, but we were getting a lot of leads from our branding, and it was always been like leads.
Organic leads?
A lot of organic leads, yeah, organic leads, and then we got a really good marketing agency. And if you find a good marketing, like a digital marketing agency that runs your ads, your campaigns, that's like a wife. Marry her, treat her like a queen. Salty's Media, love you guys.
Do they only cover that area?
No, they do. You heard of like Roof Max?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do all. They've done their marketing for 6 years.
So when you talk about digital marketing, you're talking about Google Ads, SEO, Meta.
Google Ads, digital marketing. Yes, you can run your SEO. I don't run any SEO with my digital guy. All my digital guys do are my paid ads, and Facebook and
Instagram,
Google. So they do institute all Meta.
Meta and Google Ads. That's it.
Meta and Google Ads, and that's 50% of our total lead count is from those two. One was like 29% last month, and one was like 23 something. So that's our bulk.
What else do you do for marketing?
Last month we had 8 sources that we got leads from. But a lot of them are super creative, like Better Business Bureau. Like we got our operations manager made a connection, did some of the smallest things. You remember the book The Slight Edge? You ever heard that one? Like the little things repeated over time add up to a big thing. And so like we'll get 3 or 4 leads a month, sometimes 5 from
Yelp.
Yeah, Yelp. Yeah, it's like the little
Yelp
things.
is really good for contractors.
It is good. It's all those little things, and then it creates SEO. Every little thing you do creates a web, and it goes into SEO. But then, like with Better Business Bureau, people go to Business Bureau to qualify you. But if they find you on Better Business Bureau, because we're one of only 8 contractors that have a certain certification that nobody else has in BBB. Like for me, it was like pay your money every month and you're A+ certified. You know, you got an issue with it, handle it. It's BBB, right? But
there's another layer.
There's like a whole other layer, yeah. And
where they close them for you.
I mean, if somebody calls you from the BBB, where else are they going to go to qualify you? It's like that's a lay down. You know, we go in, sign here, initial there. So It's those little idiosyncrasies to get leads. Then we do a lot. We're a Chamber of Commerce, and then a Master Build Association. So we got that guerrilla marketing, boots on the ground.
Yeah. You're everywhere. Basically,
yeah.
you're omni everywhere in Seattle.
Omnipresent.
So, did you find anything easy in your business? Now, I want everybody to take this into consideration, though. You're a sophisticated businessman. Like, you've done this before. This ain't your first rodeo, cowboy, right? So other people, when you say easy for you, it's easy for me, and easy for you is going to be different for other people. So what was easy for you?
Things that happen. So the branding, finding the name, it took 6 weeks to find it. It wasn't easy, but I had a company going. I was in no hurry to build a roofing company, but I'm meeting with my mentor every week, Dmitry Lipinski. Love you. And all we did was pick out a name the first 6 weeks. And we talked about all kinds of things, the market and things, because I've always admired him for many years.
Damn, that took a long time to freaking pick a name, dude.
Well, and it would seem stupid. If you asked me if it took 6 weeks to pick a name, like, you're wasting your time. Because, like, I think of names like the football teams, the Oilers, right? Or the whatever, like even the Seahawks. Their name isn't cool independently. We think they're cool because we think of the team that was built. That team built that name, so it's awesome to us. But by itself, the Redskins, the Cowboys are kind of cool. It's Cowboys, but whatever. But like, you make the name. I've always thought that. But what he had said was, think of, if all you have is the name, what do you do? Where are you at? When people Google the best roofing company in Seattle, we got AI. Okay, here's the thing. We had I closed a Buddhist monk. We're actually installing his roof this week. And he went on 2 forms of AI. One is an X of Twitter. He asked AI like these specific questions on hiring a roofing company in Seattle. He's in Beacon Hill, which is like up from Boeing Field in Seattle. And 2 of them led to the Seattle Roofing Company. 2 AI, like going on ChatGPT. Who do I hire in my area? And they and it came to us. I mean, it's serendipitous, out of nowhere. So the name, the brand became easier than I ever thought. Like, when I think about building a brand, I'm thinking of 15 years, Coca-Cola and Reebok. I mean, these people have built these brands over years, and to be where we're at
So fast.
It's
crazy.
It's cerebral. Like, is the inertia of the brand. That was easy. And then what else was easy?
Well, sounds like sales is very easy for you.
Sales are natural. I believe sales are leadership. It's influence. Like, so sales to me, I'm not very salesy. Like, I do have scripts in my company, but I use them as things. Like, I have all these like Roy-isms. I got these like sayings that are just funny because you can make them laugh. You can make them yours, right? It's the same like dating, but like you make somebody just make somebody feel good.
Yeah.
Like, when I buy, I like to feel good. When I take somebody out to eat, my girls, my daughters, whatever, I don't care what it costs. I just want the experience.
Yep.
Yep. And that's the type of buyer I want to be. I got the money, and like I want to serve the people have the money to spend with a quality, and I want them to feel good about it.
I'll never forget what I learned from Grant, and he taught me this in person, as a matter of fact. I forget where I was because I've met Grant so many times, but he says, is your competitor going to charge less money? Yeah, probably. But you know what you don't get with me? What you don't get with them, Mr. Buyer, is you don't get me. So yeah, it costs a little bit more money, but you get me.
Right.
I'm going to be on this. So you're going to know, and you're going to have confidence that it's me working for you on this.
And you will lose by going with him.
Yeah.
And though I'm more expensive.
Yeah, even though I'm more expensive. And that's why I raised my prices this year.
It's so true. But it's true.
I had to.
Number one problem is underpaying. Because like we're trained to not overpay.
Yeah.
Like we're like, I don't overpay, but like the cost of underpaying is exponential.
Yes.
You might have to undo everything.
Dude, it
redo
fucking just happened to me remodeling my house. Dude, this my buddy from like junior high, I ran into him at King Taco. He's like, dude, I'll remodel your whole inside of your luxury house for 140 grand. And like, I hadn't seen this dude since I was like 14 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, it's good to freaking, see you and catch up with you. Yeah, let's do it.
Right.
Fucked my house up. So I'm like, yup, there goes our friendship again, once again. So now I'm paying like, shit, almost 200 grand, I think, 180 to like redo a lot of his bullshit work. So I don't want to sound like a crybaby, but it's my show. I can do it.
So a lot of times when someone says this other client's more, or this other, they're cheaper than you, or they cost less. First thing I ask, because I want to frame the next school of thought with the homeowner, and I'll say, do you think they're actually cheaper, or is it just about cost? You know, and they're like, what? You know, because I could work with you on discounts but do you think they're actually going to do a cheaper job? I mean, I'm not willing to do it. I'm not willing to do a subpar standard. I can help you with financing, deferrals, even discounts. If it's just about price, let's talk money. Once we get down to the money, that's a deal. We got everything out of the way.
You know what I would say on stage when I was selling skip tracing, data skip? I'd say, you guys know the only thing worse than cheap or cheaper? Free. You want free skip tracing? How good is that going to be?
Man, okay. I'm going to attest to this. I talked a little bit about these paid inspections. Almost every lead that we run, we're getting paid. We charge $249. And it was Dmitry Lipinski, once again. He's always 2 years ahead of everybody in the business, but it was an ad. So Angie List, when they were Angie's List, before now they're Angie's Leads, they used to have these offers, right? You had these offers. You could put offers on the page. Gutters, $199, whatever. And then so he owns a directory. He was like, hey, make an offer, put it on the page. So we're like, oh, we just picked out some stupid, tarping for this, and not stupid, but and then $249 inspections for people who aren't qualified to have, like a realtor they're trying to get a price reduction.
Yep.
They don't own the home or need a 5-year cert. You're not going to get a roof done. If I'm not sitting in front of somebody who's going to buy my product, I'm unemployed. Grant said that.
Yeah.
And so we started running that ad, and then we started just sending the link. Hey, here, take it. And now people are like, who are getting a roof, if they're on the fence at all, they just want an estimate, or they're looking at bids, just getting bids. Here, why don't you have a real comprehensive professional inspection, and then weigh that against all your bids too. Like, I don't even care if you hired me. I was paid to go out there. I don't want you go to work without getting paid, so we're the same way. But the respect, right? A free estimate, people will be like, oh, you give them an estimate, just email it to me. Well, can we sit down and go over together? No, I'm busy, And then people call and say, oh, I'm just following up. I never allow my guys to just say, hey, it's me following up on that proposal. I call and say, hey, listen, the reason I'm calling, I got a situation, there's got to be a reason. But they're like, hey, look, I told you, I'll call you when I get ready. Click. They treat you
Different.
like free.
Free.
It's terrible.
It's a free estimate, so they're going to treat you like free.
It's a trip. Yeah. And then so when we're the way we're treated now is totally different. The way it should be. We put a lot of work into our.
It's the same thing with our collection agency. Right off the bat, like when I'm getting new clients, I'm more expensive than all the other agencies. I charge 65%. Sometimes 60 if the debt's newer and it's quality debt. But they're like, oh, I got agencies that are charging 40, 50%. I'm like, yeah, but you don't get me. So here's how it works. If the debt is within 10 years old, I'm going to charge you 60%. If it's past 10 years old, I'm going to charge you 65%. And that's what it is. Oh, can you negotiate? Can you do it? I'm sorry, I can't. I understand if I'm not a good fit, and that's okay. But yeah, let me know if you're interested. And then I get rid of them. And they're like, no, I'm interested. I'm just wanting to know if you would negotiate. No, I can't. Okay, yeah, well, let's go. Let's move forward. You got to stick to your guns. You got to let them know, this is the price. This is what I'm worth. Fucking know your worth.
Yeah.
So
and they're going to appreciate that.
Yeah, they are, because you're going to deliver quality. And I tell them that. I say, look, the reason you're paying a little bit more with me is because you're going to get way better results than if you were going to assign the debt to another agency. Instead of getting $300,000 collected in 6 months, you're going to get $500,000 collected in 1 month. That's how aggressive we are, but you got to pay for that. And they're like, yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, this year, what is your target for the roofing company, and what's your plan to hit those targets? How are you going to accomplish that?
Our goal this year is between 5 and 7. We're going to hit 6 billion. And I don't think we're gonna have a problem with that. And it's really the KPIs. Like if you can measure it, you can grow it. And that's my favorite part of the business is the science, looking at and then figuring it out. It's not tough. When you make a decision to do something, the world makes room for the person that knows where they're going, and that's what it's about, is getting everybody on the same sheet of music. I just finished a book. It says, if people are rowing in the same direction, there's no stopping that person.
What book is that?
I'm trying to remember which one it was. It's just on the top of my head.
I've heard that before.
Traction.
Oh, Traction.
Traction.
Yep. That's a good book.
If people all rowing in the same direction, there's no way, and that is so factual. One can chase away 1,000, two can chase away 10,000, right? But like the mastermind concept, the Think and Grow Rich, like we have energy of thought, but when two minds that's why it costs $30,000 to go to a real mastermind.
A real one,
because your thought becomes powerful when you all have the same thought. Like you mentioned a second ago, you mentioned like you run into somebody with books or that read books and study, and like Simon Sinek says, 20% of the people will just connect with your why anyway. That you're type of people, but it's like you recognize that you're all the same. You're the same, cut from the same cloth, right, or whatever in a way. But when people can get on the same wavelength, that's why the abundance mindset is so important. People are like hoarding and hiding, and money's worth nothing until you spend it, right? You can only keep what you have by giving it away. To he who has, more will be given. He will have abundance. To he who does not have, even what he has will be taken away. So, like you gotta get it. You gotta be free with it.
Yeah. We were talking earlier too that it's like you get to a point where it's not even about money anymore. It's more like I'm super excited to be opening up a headquarters and a call center in Guatemala City. I originally went out there to baptize one of my wife's cousin's sons, and I'd never been to Guatemala City. And I knew that, it was going to be a nice country. I'm like, it's going to be cool. I'm going to have a nice experience, 3-4 days out there. I'll hang out, whatever. And as soon as I land, the cousins that picked us up, we're driving through the city, and I asked them, hey, is there call centers here? Like, is there a lot of people that speak English? Yeah, that's a call center. That's a call center. They're like the biggest in the country, the biggest in the world. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, okay, cool. It excited me for a second. Then the next morning, we're at the baptism, and I met one of the neighbors. He's a lieutenant in the military. He's like talking to me in English. It's kind of broken. It's chopped up. But he goes, you should talk to my son-in-law. His English is perfect. I get on the phone with him. Guy's a fucking killer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, what's up with the call centers? Oh, yeah, I work for call centers. I know a bunch of people that speak perfect English. Next thing you know, I extend my stay from 3 days to a week, and I'm out there, leasing office spaces now, getting my business licenses. So it's about the experience was my whole point. Like, money is money. Right? Like, I'm not doing it because, I need to make more money. I do. I want to make more money. I don't need to make more money. I want to make more money. But it's just a passion. Like, when you want to make more money, you love to make more money, go fucking make more money. Yeah. Right? And we're talking about that right now.
Yeah. You know what? What book I'm going through again right now, and what made me think of it is Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. The first time I went through it kind of broke my heart because it says luck, upbringing, money has nothing to do with people's success. It's just not true, right? And he shows where these things, if this wasn't the right time, this wasn't the right place. But looking forward, like understanding trends, like it was serendipitous. I think it was Grant Cardone said, "The harder I work, the luckier I get." Right? And I believe that. I believe that too. But at the same time, like this really helps me humble myself because. If there's like we have a mentor now who's a multimillionaire, and I happened to be in the diner at, we were in Orlando, Florida at Roof Con 2024, and I happened to be at the right place where I happened to be talking on the phone about the same stuff we're talking about now. He overheard it, looked back. I think he owns 13 companies. He scales them about 35 million. He exits them. He's got a system. 7 of them are roofing companies, and I should introduce you to him.
That's insane.
Actually, he's He's the coolest cat in the world, and I owe him a lot. Ed Payne, love you. And but I happened to be at the right place, the right time, at the right. Like I happened to run into Dmitry Lipinski, and he had this marketing fitness program. It was unlimited editing, and you get a once a week call with Dmitry Lipinski. And I was like, what? And it was like $800. It was like $900. I was like, what? No, this ain't true. It's like signing up to go see Robert Kiyosaki, but it's not. It's some lady that works in his office or whatever. It's like, that's what I thought it was. I was like, I got to see what it is. I mean, because it was like that was nothing. And it was like, back then I didn't have editing. Now I got my own editing. AI is like really easy now. But back then, a year ago, it was like, I could use all that editing. And I signed up for that. Never expected to start a roofing company, but he called me on the carpet, and if someone calls you out, like where I'm from, you got to throw down, so like. It
is true though, but don't you also believe that the universe sets it up for you that way? Because I feel like I was supposed to go open up my call center, start opening up the call center at the end of this month in Egypt, my headquarters there. And I rerouted, reprioritized because I feel like God said, I got something closer. I got something that's going to be easier for you to get started overseas as building an actual headquarters. And Egypt is still in the cards. Like I have 100 employees over there. I still got to go set up my headquarters over there. Yeah. But this is just so easy. Yeah. Like it was just laid out so easy for me. My mother-in-law's from Guatemala. Yeah. Like it's too easy, So I think it also has to do with luck, but it also has to do with destiny. Yeah. Yeah. So you're gonna get to 7 million this year, and maybe I'll see you back here early next year to hold you accountable and to check in on you. Where can people find you?
Instagram at The Seattle Roofing Company. Also Facebook, The Seattle Roofing Company. Personal brand, Rory Knight on Facebook. YouTube channels, The Seattle Roofing Company.
You're probably always hiring, right? So they can reach out to you and they can apply.
Yeah. You hit that phone number on the website, and it rings several different people at the head that you will get an answer. And not hard to find. There's only one The Seattle Roofing Company. There's a lot of roofing companies in Seattle, but there's only one The Seattle Roofing
That's
Company.
Right. Yeah. That's right. Rory, I want to thank you once again from the bottom of my heart for coming all the way out here from Seattle. It means a lot to me. You are a cool-ass guy. When I first started talking to you in the office, I'm like, dude, I'm glad I got this guy on here. And then during the podcast, I thought of it again. I'm like, damn, this guy's so fucking good at this podcast. Yeah. So I really want to thank you. I really want to thank you. And this was a lot of fun. And I will keep you updated if I end up partnering. One of my buddies from 10X, he owns a roofing company. He's inviting me to, partnership and help him scale it faster. So if that ends up happening, dude, I'm going to keep you posted so you can guide me.
I'd love to help any way I can or add value.
I appreciate it.
And then, of course, I mean, I'm at your feet as far, I would love to be mentored by you. And
vice versa, man. Shit. Let's leverage each other's experience and expertise and tools and resources, and whatever we can do. I strongly encourage you to look into the 10X community. A good place to start. You know a lot already. I can tell. I know you do. But a good place to start, just to kind of get your feet wet, would be like, for example, the 10X Business Summit. That's a great one. They teach you all the fundamentals of marketing, sales, operations, human resources, leadership, revenue, and finance.
When is it?
So I believe the next one is in April in Miami. That's going to be the next one.
Miami.
You can't go to Miami?
Oh, no, I love Miami.
Oh, I thought you couldn't go.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, why? You party too hard?
I go right now.
You party too hard?
I'm sober. I have 13 years clean and sober. It's Serenity Prayer right here.
That's why you do great in life.
My guys party. I like to go out. I'm like I keep them all safe. I like to.
You smoke cigars though.
I smoke cigars right now.
Get some Cubans.
Do I?
For sure, man. But I appreciate you once again. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure that you're commenting. If you guys want us to keep bringing the heat, you guys got to comment, you got to like, you got to subscribe, and make sure that you send him a DM and that you explain to him how much you appreciated this. And let's keep impacting your lives. All right, guys? I'll see you next time, Mondays with Mike. Let's get it.